Oh, and of course, the intro video isn't working. The wonders of live radio, folks. Hello, my name's Conrad Krausert. I am not from Game Over Edmonton. I'm from Game Over Calgary. I'm much sadder than the rest of us, but let's head on down the line and introduce ourselves since we're all here live and in person.
It's your boy, the one, the only, Avry Lewis-McDougall from Game Over Edmonton. I ran down from Artist Place, from the press box, to get down here on location with the fine people at Game Over tonight.
He's deeply smelly.
The best dressed of us by a long shot.
Oh, always.
But let's head on down the line, Ash.
Yeah, no, this is Ash Jubilee, also from Game Over Edmonton. I've been here all night.
This is going to blow you away, guys. I'm also from Game Over Edmonton. It's crazy. I know.
Who are you?
I'm Graham Mosimann.
Hi, Graham.
It's so nice to see. We never get to see you nerds in person. This is so
No,
lovely.
this is like super sick. I'm like so happy to be on location. We got this nice little like booth here down at First Round. It's so sick.
Yeah, tons of love to First Round because like they have like a huge bar that's very loud and very busy and not exactly conducive to throwing a hockey post-game show. And they were like, no, let's take a little like fishbowl window. So people are staring at us now. It's uncomfortable. I'm looking straight ahead.
Well, and we had a fan out the front, and they're not following Game Over. We should have told them to follow Game Over, but they're following Avry, so at least that's 1 out of 4 in
It's
that.
deeply funny.
Yeah,
That's
that
deeply
was
funny.
Very funny for context. There was a guy and a girl who went up to our booth and showed my Twitter profile to me asking, is that you? That was very funny.
See, you're a celebrity, Avry. We all know it.
No, it's true.
Conrad, how you doing emotionally? How you feeling? You okay?
Well, we got a point. That's better than we can say a lot of nights for this Flames team. And, it's a bounce back from a tough game last 2 nights ago against Dallas. So I'll take the points in the standings because Flames were in a tight wild card race. And Edmonton, I think you guys are happy with the 2 points to try and leapfrog Los Angeles here.
Yeah, I mean, we're just kind of looking for that home ice advantage. I mean, we've had home ice advantage, I'm pretty sure, in all of our playoff series, and it's going to be...
Not the first time we
first
played
time.
LA. They had it for that one.
Okay, well, regardless, it's still going to be the 4th time in a row, and I know most of us, I'm definitely dreading that first-round playoff series, just because I know it's going to be rough and tumble, and we have quite an injured squad right now, which we haven't really had. Oilers have been pretty lucky with injuries in previous seasons.
Yeah, and then we have kind of the counter to that in the Flames, and we've been real dinged up recently. Obviously, Michael Backlund working his way back in the lineup. Rasmus Andersson didn't take morning skate today, so he's on the maintenance schedule. And it's not quite the Kawhi Lowry where you have to manage the minutes fully, but we're starting to see the bumps and bruises accumulate for this Flames squad.
Did you just go with Kawhi Lowry?
I did.
That's good. That's good.
I combined the two of them. Well, they did both with Kawhi and Lowry.
Oh, yeah,
so.
they've both done NBA maintenance days, and honestly, the NHL should too, but whatever, that's a different argument.
Yeah, it's Players Association trouble.
Yeah, that's definitely like an NBA thing. Like, you don't really see like players like take days off until like the very end of the year. I wonder
And you
why.
have to be locked in, and it's...
Yeah.
I think it's hockey culture. I think we can...
I don't think it is a culture thing. Like, that totally makes sense. Like, the fact that, like, Leon Draisaitl missed 4 games, Connor McDavid's out, I mean, Trent Frederic.
And how many times have we talked in, like, playoffs about the glorification of guys playing with punctured lungs?
Yes.
Oh, I hopped on the ice, I had 2 broken legs and a broken sternum. My lungs didn't work, but I had to gut it out for the boys.
Who is that an impression of?
I started John Cherry, and then I realized that he's a bastard man. So we adjusted.
Yep. Before we get any further in the show, I don't have our ad reads because I'm the worst host ever. But if you are watching here on the Game Over Edmonton channel, please give us a like, follow, and maybe a subscribe. Hit that notification bell. We're trying to battle that algorithm battle, trying to build this back up. And as we said, it's so awesome that we got to come here to First Round Edmonton and just really enjoy the atmosphere that this city brings, because there is nothing like Battle of Alberta hockey when both teams are good. So hopefully you guys got to witness that at home, and hopefully we can continue to bring that energy here on your home screens. Do you have the chat up? Does anyone have the chat on their phones?
I had a second ago, so it's bumping right now. People are talking. People are in there.
I'm glad to hear that. I wonder if couple friends of the shows are around. But so let's talk about this game, because I know on my show we go goal by goal. So why don't we start that way, at least to kind of get us into the frame of the game. Igor Sharangovich, his 13th goal in the season, and I think if I heard right on the broadcast, his first goal in 10 or something games. It's been a snake-bitten season for the man we call Sharky down south, but I know none of you Edmonton hosts were too happy with the rebound that was given up to lead to this goal.
No, I mean, like, Calvin Pickard gives up a huge rebound, and then you have 3 Oilers who just let Sharangovich, like, skate right by him. Max Jones is coasting. Bouchard doesn't turn around. I think it's Jake Wallman and Bouchard are both looking to take away, like, the other guy. But, I mean, he looks so much faster than the rest of them and pounces on the rebound. I don't know. It's a really bad first goal. And it kind of put the Oilers like on like the back foot, and they didn't really have so much fight in that first period. It was kind of like a little disheartening to watch. Definitely the game the Flames wanted to play. That like low event hockey that the Oilers definitely don't want to be playing.
Well, because that's where the Oilers get super wonky, right? Is when you have a team that'll show up and be like, "Hi, look at you with all your skill. We're going to work harder than you."
Yeah.
And it's a team that like doesn't seem to really want to pull out those stops until you get to the playoffs, which, like, on one hand, I totally understand, because it's a long fight to the playoffs. It's a longer fight to even get there. But, you know, the last few games, last skid we've had, missing 2 of the best players in the league, I would have liked to see a little bit more fight. It feels like it took way longer than it should for Edmonton to go, maybe we can just rough them up and be better.
Yeah.
Nikita Kucherov would like to have a conversation about that top 2 players in the NHL, but I digress. So safe to say, not the greatest defensive performance there, and we kind of saw the bipolarity of Evan Bouchard in today's game, as he had a beautiful assist later on that we'll talk about, but certainly was kind of wearing the horns on that opening goal. No more goals until the second period. Victor Arvidsson. I had some very happy Oilers fans in the room here with me to see number 33 get off the schneid. Avery, what was the mood like inside Rogers Place, seeing Arvidsson get off a little bit of a struggle bus for himself?
Just relief, because this entire year for Robertson has been a tough one, because he's battled injuries from...
Whoa. Victor Arvidsson was battling injuries?
No, you're telling me.
Wow.
Right?
I'm amazed.
Like, that's the thing. Like, if Victor Arvidsson was able to play healthy 70-ish games, it'll be a different story. But he's been out of lineup for so many different ailments, injuries, things. If he was healthy, a different story. And then you're right, Conrad. He struggled to find his form. That was a massive goal for him just to get his confidence back to tie the game.
Should unmute my mic before I start speaking. Assists to Dry and to the Eggman Darnell Nurse.
Yeah, Draisaitl definitely, like we'll talk about him for the next 2 goals, but Draisaitl, getting a point on all 3 goals. To me, the Oilers' offense all game just kind of felt like waiting for that Draisaitl line to come out. I mean, I thought that Colson had a really, really good game, and Arvidsson obviously with his goal, but when that line just wasn't out there, it didn't really feel like the Oilers were getting much, if at all, going. But it is nice to see people like Arvidsson get that goal, especially as, you know, we're nearing towards the playoffs, and we're hoping to see the finishing from people like Draisaitl's line mates, people like on the third line, because that's going to be like really, really, really key going into, especially a series against LA, whose defense has taken another step.
Yeah, I'm big with that one. I think especially with the Oilers' kind of depth, you have to, especially when looking at this kind of construction of the team, given that they are missing their 2 top centers, which I will venture out, you go find any team, have them be good when they are missing their number 1 and number 2 centers. That's really hard to do.
Because, we haven't seen the Penguinos without Crosby and Malkin for extended periods of time in a few years. And
1,000%. It just doesn't happen that often. So, you know, especially going into this playoff run, I am so excited and hopeful that Trent Frederick is going to be the player that like we've kind of seen him be, because a third line that consists of Trent Frederick, Evander Kane, and like Corey Perry, cool. Have fun, everyone else.
Yeah, that's going to be so sick.
And we are going to talk a little bit, I think, about Corey Perry a little bit later, because I think he could be getting a call from player safety. But as I said, we'll talk about that later. And then the most likely Flames goal scorer, I think we all had this on our bingo cards today. Braden Hall gets the Flames' second marker of the night, only his third of the season, snapshot, assist to Kadri. And I was pretty happy seeing Braden Hall. He's been kind of in a team that has, as I call it every time I talk on the show, the 4/7 defenseman. He's been kind of the guy that's slotted in on that third pair most nights. And has just been very defensively solid. But to see him get on the score sheet and to see how excited he got in the building, because I think he knows what this matchup means. You don't have to be a Flamin' Oiler for very long to understand what the Battle of Alberta means to both squads. Especially, like, no offense to the Oilers, 2 points meant a hell of a lot more to the Flames on tonight's night, knowing what a battle they're in to scrape into the playoffs. Especially with the Blues winning.
Yeah, there's that big logjam right now in the Western Conference with Vancouver, Flames, even Utah still having some life. So
No, Utah's cooked.
Yeah, Utah's
Utah's
good.
They, about a week
I'm
ago.
trying to be nice to Utahns.
Yeah, I
Utahns
see
and
where
Mike
you're coming from.
Sorry, Mike, I know you're probably going to watch this later. But we all know I had him clarify this. He was a Coyotes fan, not a hockey club fan. But anyways, yeah, it's weird though we've seen that for a couple of these most recent Flames games. Joel Hanley chipping in, but to see Hall score, and it means a lot to the player and means a lot to the Flame squad who are trying to battle it out. Oh, and is that Mac T on the post game show?
Yes, it is.
I still remember him ripping Harvey's tongue out. I still haven't forgiven him for that. See, they rip out his tongue. He has to get a new tongue. Now they put a jersey on him. But I digress.
Wait. Harvey has a shirt now?
Yeah, he has to wear a jersey now.
Garbage.
Wait, why?
I want that weird, naked abomination animal.
So, okay.
If he
Hockey-
can wear pants, he shouldn't be wearing a shirt.
Hockey
Alright.
fans, we're going on a divergent tangent here. Every other mascot in the league, including that abomination of a lynx you guys have up here, gets to be in all of these.
That's so mean.
Hunter's
What's wrong
eyes
with you?
look in different directions, okay, and it's not a gritty
'cause he's-
situation.
Because he's
That's what
a
mascot should be.
he's a predator. That's his
He's
point.
got-
He's
got
out
a
here
six-pack as well too. He's got ripped abs.
roughing up weirder mascots. That's his thing.
Anyways, but even Hunter gets invited to all these commercials. I have not seen Harvey the Hound appear in any social media for the NHL or any brand deals.
I've seen him before and stuff.
Oh, he pops around.
He's
Fair
around.
bit, yeah.
Old man Harvey, like the
yeah.
oldest mascot in the NHL, gets invited. He's allowed to be with
he's
the cool
a dog that
kids.
wears a hat. Who doesn't want that?
I don't know. Maybe there's just too many dog mascots, considering they invite Burner or whatever they call the Avs mascot.
Is he Bernie?
Bernie, Burner, I don't know.
I mean, the Minnesota Wild mascot, I mean, he sort of looks like a dog.
Nash.
If a dog had a bad genetic experiment. Wildy, I think is his name.
Oh,
boy,
yeah.
Welcome to Mascot Talk live from first round here on the Game Over crossover episode.
Yeah, nothing else important happened, like Leon Draisaitl's 50th goal of the year that I was trying to avoid.
Oh my god. Oh, what a beauty. What a beautiful sequence.
I want to give some love to Kaya. Here, Hunter is hot. I said it.
Yeah, that's true.
They're
Thank you,
right.
Kaya.
Kaya also thinks Lightning McQueen is hot. So
Yeah,
let's.
Lightning-
Kaya,
Yeah,
you're so,
clearly.
Kyle, you're
Car
so
box.
real for that.
Yeah.
You're so real.
I get it.
That was a car sexual. Please explain that to me.
Ask
You
any
don't get it.
40-year-old man.
Yeah.
Like, ask them and they'll answer it for you.
The entire population of my hometown would beg to differ.
Yeah.
Kaya,
What do you think Corvettes exist?
Kaya, I'll shush when you finally buy those plane tickets. Anyways, let's get back to the 50-goal scorer, Leon Draisaitl. I'll let you guys all talk, and I'll just play the world's smallest violin over here.
Leon is super good.
Leon Draisaitl, 50 goals.
Okay, and as we said, the duality of Evan Bouchard.
Oh my god. Just, really, this starts with Nurse on a really good poke check from what could have been a breakaway to kind of like seal the game for the Flames. Gets a really good poke check, and Bouchard. No look behind the back, cross center ice
That
to
pass was
Draisaitl.
disgusting.
Evan Bouchard, I am your number one defender. Thank God.
Did-
Nah, you should have gotten
great.
traded at the trade
After
deadline.
that-
So good.
All right. Yo,
You all saw the tweets,
we
like
did, yes. And if you pull that trade, I don't care if it's from Mikko Rantanen. You do not deal Evan Bouchard. You do not trade Evan Bouchard.
Well, what if you could get Tyson Berry on
Oh
a
my
PTO?
God.
What is Avry? He's just as good.
That's true. He is. Don't you know the Oilers' power play was better with Tyson Barrie? That's a true fact. You can look it up.
And he has a cuter dog.
Okay, well, maybe that might be more
Does
important.
Evan Bouchard have a dog?
I don't know.
I think he does. I'm pretty sure he has a dog.
And I will shout out, we've actually got both of the hosts who couldn't make it in the chat.
Yo, Austin.
Just saw Austin in there, and I also saw Matt DeMille. Matt, they let you free of the WHL prison chamber for playoffs that's just about to begin. Yeah, and if the prison chamber for the playoffs wasn't hard enough, they also had the expansion announcements. Like, they just keep working Matt DeMille to the bone. So thanks, Matt, for checking us out. We wish you were here. But let's go, and that obviously took us to tied at 2, and then 51 is the number that Leon Draisaitl ends with for goals tonight.
Yup.
And Avery was here to watch it on TV.
Yes.
He sacrificed to come and join us here at First Round. Once again, thank you to First Round for hosting us. They've been great to us all night over here. It's not going to be a fun day when you have angry Connor McDavid coming back from injury and 100% healthy Leon in a couple weeks.
And don't forget, we also Matthias Ekholm's out with injury too.
Yeah.
Like, he's not here either.
This, honestly, I am a little shocked that the Oilers were able to pull this one out, in all honesty, because they really did not have a lot going unless Leon Draisaitl was on the ice.
Yeah.
Which is getting really frustrating to see, to be totally honest. Getting real tired of that. But hey, when Connor comes back, hopefully it'll be, better. I am still... This defense, when it doesn't have Ekholm, stresses me out so much. Because there's moments where I watch Ty Emerson play hockey, and I'm like, you good lad. You're going to be the next great thing. Right-hand shot, decent size, like an okay skater. You're going to be great. And then you do all the things you do on the ice. And I'm like, okay, maybe not. Maybe we got a work in progress here. But because he had an early turnover in the first period that the Flames, I'm shocked, didn't capitalize on. And then, kind of redeemed himself 2 plays later, but, I'm really not loving the idea of Emerson and Kulak going next to one another on that third pairing. I don't love that.
It's just so inconsistent. You look at, the Oilers, second and third pairing, whether they run Kulak, Nurse, and then Stetcher, Emberson, or kind of the more normal one where you run the Kulak, Emberson, and sometimes you'll run Nurse, Stetcher, or maybe Klingberg. It's night to night. It depends. But one night, it's Emberson, Kulak are world beaters, defensive stalwarts, nothing gets by them. But then the next night, it's they can't do anything, and it's Emberson, Stetcher who's actually playing a very good third pairing. There's no consistency, and it's kind of worrying. I wonder how that's going to fare up in a playoff series where you're going to get a lot of counter strategies from other teams. I think it. Especially if you're going to run the Nurse Kulak with 2 left-handed defensemen. Same with Jake Wollman, left-handed defenseman who's playing on the right side. I feel like in a playoff series, that's kind of a vulnerability that can be definitely
I really like Jake Wollman on the
do
right
like
side.
Oh my god!
And as for a left shot playing on the right-hand side, I really dig Jake Wollman, what he can do. Connor, you love this. Every so often, he reminds me of when
TJ Brody
was good.
Yeah, good TJ Brody before he went to Toronto.
Yeah. Turned out he's a Chicago Blackhawk.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
I remember back when TJ Brody started his decline, and a certain duo of radio hosts in Calgary just TJ Brody can skate. That was about the best we could say about TJ Brody at the end of his tenure. And sometimes it feels like Wollman does have games that are similar where he's skating out there. He's got cardio. But it's certainly, the comparison rings true to me as someone who hasn't watched a ton. But it's nice to hear that you guys have consistency troubles too, considering the Flames have a pairing of players that just aren't exactly NHL playoff caliber, I would say, on the back end. Graham, how many players did we have to go through tonight? You're like,
oh, dude,
that's a full-time NHLer?
Yeah, so it was, for the kind of backstory here, so it was Connor and Ash, myself. We were here early on first round here, just downtown, just down from the rink, before Avery got in. And there was a chunk, I was like, I don't know who that man is. Who is this player? Who is
the
that
Joel
person?
Hanley? Of Jake Dean?
No, I know Jake Bean. I remember him. Didn't know he signed with the Flames, but I
Braden Pahal?
I thought his name was Patchell. To
Yeah,
be honest,
that's...
because I thought he was the guy that John Goodman played in Emperor's New Groove. Like I thought that. Like I'm pretty sure that's who he was at first.
He was Pasha.
Same diff, same. But yeah, there's a lot of players in the Flames. I'm like, this feels like a good contest of who he play for.
Yeah.
You know what? I can't laugh too hard because the Oilers from 2008 to 2015 were peak. Who he played for many
Well,
years.
they showed a clip on the broadcast tonight that absolutely killed me. It was Luke Gazdick fighting Brian McGrattan, and you saw Will Acton skate by in the background.
Tough Acton, Will Acton.
And then I'm pretty sure Ryan Jones was on the ice.
Oh my god, Ryan Jones.
If you look closely, there was probably also Mark Arcobello. So we have lived through an era of, wow, these guys are not NHL players. I would still rather the Flames make it the playoffs though over like the friggin' Canucks. So
That's true, I would.
Well, I also think Kaya wants the Flames to make it over the Canucks so they can finally get rid of the bald man behind the bench there. So
Yeah.
they're not going to get rid of him. He's just going to be like, peace, guys. I love Philadelphia now. Give me Gritty. Finn sucks. Like, he's just going to walk.
Oh, gosh. I can see the narratives. I can see Fred there right then. We're talking to Philadelphia. I can see that being written right now.
Right.
I think Kaya wants to throw him in the sea first. So we'll see what happens.
Kaya just wrote in, yeah, do not speak for me.
Hi, Kaya.
What is it with this like absolute inconsistency in the Pacific Division? Like, what is going on with all of these teams that finish first in the division and then they just like absolutely crash out?
Not Vegas.
That's true.
Well, Vegas can't still crash out.
Vegas can't hold players for more than 3 years.
Listen,
it's like their whole team is like John Tortorella.
They can't hold them because they hurl them up the highway.
It's like, oh,
I'm not trying to.
it's like, oh, you suck now? Bye. That is George McPhee and a company. Like, oh, you're gone. Like, Tony McCrimmon, if you are no longer of value after a playoff series win, all right, enjoy San Jose.
I kind of love
Enjoy
it.
New York.
I think it rocks. I think that's so cool. I wish more teams would do that. I think it's cool as hell.
But then we criticize teams for getting rid of coaches like certain John Tortorella after 3 years. But I digress.
That's a different story. Come on. That's not apples to oranges. That's apples to...
Sour grapes.
What kind of fruit does John Tortorella look like?
Sour grapes.
Crab apples for all we know.
But I found the ad reads, guys. So we're gonna go to one of those before we talk any further. Looking for ways to help an upstart media company employing over 30 young journalists, analysts, and broadcasters across Canada? You have a few spare bucks kicking around. You can head on over to Patreon and check out patreon.com/The Game Over Network. There you'll find multiple tiers featuring different rewards and goodies for helping us grow. There's extra access, exclusive look behind the scenes, Discord benefits, merch discounts, opportunities to give us live feedback, and hey, you can join us for special shows. Hey, you might have even heard about this one a little bit early and could have joined us live, or you can interact with the hosts as we launch more ways to improve your experience. If you're not able to spare a few dollars, we do have a free tier available, so you don't miss out. If you really want to help us, make sure to hit like and subscribe on YouTube, both here on Game Over Edmonton. Head on over to the Game Over Calgary channel, hit us a like, follow. Just don't go to the Vancouver channel. Nobody listens to it. Anyways,
Hey, I really like the Vancouver channel. I think they're great.
Zach's cool.
Kaya's also correct.
Kaya in shambles.
Yeah, I like Mark. Yeah. All right. But if you do have that few extra dollars to spare... Oh, and also, sorry, before we talk about Patreon again, if you're listening to us in podcast form, please give us a 5-star rating and a comment. It helps with that dastardly algorithm. And once again, the Patreon is patreon.com/The Game Over Network for tantalizing goodies. How much does Kaya hate me today? All right. So, I won't skewer you anymore, Kaya. Like, I've got 3 other people here that are Oilers fans that I can skewer. But let's talk about the man who did return today, Leon Draisaitl, and we're hearing that Connor McDavid is days, not weeks away. How much does that mean for this Oilers team for this playoff push? Because I don't think you guys are going to catch Vegas. But it certainly is a strength for you guys to get into that home team advantage over the Los Angeles Kings.
Why do you need it? Well, why? Why do you need home ice advantage against the Kings if you're the Edmonton Oilers? Why?
because they're a hockey team in the NHL and having a home team advantage is good?
Like for the Oilers against the Kings. Why? Why is it good? Has it been important? Not really.
That's true. To me, really, I just want to see all the players who are going to play in the playoffs. I mean, I guess sans Evander Kane because of contract reasons. I just want to see them like play some games so that their first game back isn't game one against LA.
Yeah,
whether that's
big
or
time.
in Edmonton, I don't really care. Home ice advantage, especially in the playoffs, is I think getting less and less important as the years goes on. But I just like. The Oilers have not had this many injuries this late in the season going into the playoffs before, and that is something that I think is much more worrying than the possibility of having to play Game 1 in LA. So I would like to see Connor McDavid finish out the regular season. I would like to see Trent Frederick maybe get a game or two.
Yeah.
And I mean, Evander Kane, he's going to be back for Game 1 LA, hopefully. And I think that'll be pretty nice.
Yeah, because Frederick playing a game. Because again, I don't want to wait until game one to see Frederick playing again. I've heard that it's been day to day, so it sounds like the Shai could play before the season ends though. But Chris Knobloch didn't sound 100% confident he will, which to me is like, I want to see this guy play at least before late April. So we'll see what happens with Trent Frederick.
Yeah, and then for the other side of the injury cookie, we have the Calgary Flames and Matt Coronado being week to week, which is, I think, fancy speak for you guys make the playoffs. Maybe number 47 will be back in the lineup.
Connor Zary, I think you're
Did I not say Connor
saying
Zary?
Matt Coronado. Matt Coronado did look like he got hurt tonight, though. He did almost get hurt, but you know. That Connor Zary injury is such a bummer, dude. Like
It is.
It sucks. Connor Zary's awesome.
Because if you're watching Flames hockey, he's kind of been the number two story, obviously the number one being Dustin Wolf trying to drag this team like a angry father at Disneyland, just trying to drag his kids through the whole theme park to make sure you see every ride.
Yeah.
But it's certainly been a storyline of the season because I'd argue like the Flames have kind of actually had two major knee injuries because everyone forgets about I can't even remember his name. Oh my god, this is the worst. Tore his ACL early on. Was supposed to be the Huberto Whisperer. Avery, help me out here.
I'm blanking the wrong time right now.
He played with him in Florida. 1-year deal.
Olli Jokinen. I'm trying to think of my favorite Florida Panthers.
Olli Jokinen is on your list of favorite Panthers?
Yeah.
That is a crazy point.
UC Jokinen.
Calgary Flames, LTIR.
Olli Jokinen was a Flame too, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he was.
Seemed a feasible possibility.
Anthony Mantha.
Yes, Anthony
I'm
Mantha.
forgetting that.
Yeah, it's well, he only did play 10 games as a Flame.
Famed Vegas Golden Knight, Anthony Mantha.
That's true.
Flames legend. Yeah, and then also Justin Kirkland. So like Flames need to like invest in like better knee protection or something. Do we all need to start like wearing the O-line braces that they wear in football so that their knees don't go backwards?
Well, I feel bad bringing up this particular player because I feel like it's all people have done with the Flames and Jackets this year. But I remember when Johnny Gaudreau got his hand broken, and he came back with that like Mega Man-esque glove.
Yeah, it looked like the blaster.
And I was like, why is every player not wearing this? That just seems smart. Like, what are you doing?
And it's like the shot blockers too. Like I'll have these D-men like they're too clunky. Yeah, know what else is clunky? A walking boot.
That's a great point.
That's a really good point.
Because a broken foot is not fun. Like that is not a fun thing to live through.
Well, you can say that about those new Guardian helmets that they're using in football practices. How you have some people who are like, oh, that kind of like looks silly. Well, so is brain damage. That's much worse than a silly looking helmet.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Well, and Craig McTavish wouldn't know anything about that. But anyways, I had to throw my dagger somewhere now that I can't throw them in the Kaya.
Is that a driving joke, Conrad?
No, it's...
Wait! Hey, yo!
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
That's fucked up.
I was just referring to that he was the last one to
Yeah,
play
I
without a
was too,
helmet.
and then I made it weird.
Welcome to live game overs, folks. The rails are here. We are off of them.
This is a virgin Caesar.
Sure.
Does that need to go out? Anyways, oh boy. And obviously the Flames just got Michael Backlund back, and we've lost Mackenzie Weegar for a couple games on the New York road swing. So these Flames aren't 100%, and it's the frustration. Like, I don't know how much you guys listened to me, Peter, and Matt, and Anand in the early season, talking about this is exactly the place the Flames needed to avoid. This is the Calgary Flames in 9th place in the West, just like they were for the Jerome McGinley era. Like, as I said, we're being dragged kicking and screaming into the worst place we can be to develop.
When the Flames get like this, they're like the Minnesota Wild of Canada. It's annoying because you have this weird like mix of culture between like management and ownership that's caught somewhere between, okay, let's actually tear this thing down and rebuild, and oh no, we have to go for it because you got to get like a couple of home playoff rounds.
Murray Edwards loves his 2 home playoff games.
But I wish I loved anything as much as Murray Edwards loves getting just 2 home playoff games, because that's apparently all he needs. So yeah, it's always frustrating because like at some point, like it felt like when the Flames like kind of went on that crazy run where these two teams met up, it felt like if you had just been able to hold that together, it would have been okay.
And we're half an hour away.
And
half an hour and 1 signature away.
And even if you lose Tkachuk, I think you can still make it up with the players that would have been here. And it's just such a bummer because like as someone that lived in Calgary for so long, I deeply want the Flames to be good because Calgary cooks so hard when the Flames are good. Yeah. And it's awesome. And like to have them miss the playoffs again, the Denman in the chat, we were just kind of going back and forth on the Flames.
That's my housemate who I dropped off.
Is it no way? Hell yeah. We were just talking about like the levels of like the Oilers' decade of darkness pessimism was like dripping off the walls, and it still perks up when the Oilers are bad. I honestly think Flames' pessimism is worse from decades of being meh.
Yeah, when we had one player dragging us to just being good enough to miss the playoffs.
Yeah, Dion Phaneuf.
I am not that far away from you. This table cannot.
You might get slapped right now, Graham.
No, this isn't WWE.
There's a whole team sleeping at my house tonight.
That's true.
I'm gonna wake up with a pillow on my head.
Like, you look at this Flames roster, and then you look how the St. Louis Blues are playing. Like, 9-1-0 in the last 10. Like,
but that roster is a lot better.
That's true, right? But you look at these two teams that are like, oh well, you know, Calgary Flames, 9th best team in the West. But these two teams are just not close at all. But you still have these like, you know, kind of like, I don't want to say like delusions because they were in a playoff spot, but they're just like they're just not like they're not a playoff team. You know, they aren't. But considering the spot that they're in, if we're going to talk about being dragged by one guy, where do you guys think Dustin Wolf lands in the Calder conversation right now?
Him or celebrating. That's it. That's done.
Yeah. But okay, him or celebrating. Do you think it should be him? Do you think it's 50-50?
If you
well, not like what do you think will happen, but who do you think deserves it?
Dustin Wolf. Wolf.
If you look at the caliber of defenseman Dustin Wolf has been saddled with for 82 games of this NHL season, you can't look at many other goalies around this league and say they have a worse starting 6 in front of them. Like, all the love to Kevin Ball playing on our top pair, and all the love to Rasmus and Mackenzie, but it's just not good. Like, as I said, we have a bunch of 7th defensemen who... Desmond Romanov, he's young. Jake Bean's been around the league. Hanley he's a 7th defenseman on 32 teams in this league.
I think the term is he's a guy.
It's just
he's not an EA-generated player, but he's a guy. Yeah. So keep that in mind and keep up the numbers that Dustin Wolf is putting up in high danger scenarios, as they showed on the broadcast today. 4th in the league, and this is a 23-year-old.
That's an insane stat. Yeah, a 23-year-old who's the size of Darren Pang.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, finding goalies in the league who are lasting, who are 6 feet under, that's going the way the dodo bird. Finding a goalie, and that's hockey 6 feet tall. He's probably more like 5'10", 5'11".
He's officially listed at 5'10", and so he's probably 5'8".
That is wild.
Like, you do not see pro goaltenders that small. It doesn't happen.
Because UC Saros is what, 5'10", 5'11"?
They're listed at 5'10".
That rocks. That's so cool. Give that man the Calder.
Yeah, I just think that's more. No.
Plus,
don't
that
get me
way,
wrong.
if he does win the Calder, I get to take money out of J Money's pocket.
Now, don't get me
There
wrong.
is a bet. If J Money's in the chat, which I highly doubt, he doesn't show up anymore. He owes $20 to Egal Canada and $20 to the Calgary Interfaith Food Bank if Dustin Wolf wins.
It's a good
And I
bet.
have to donate to some food bank in Egal Canada if a certain Matvey Mitchkov wins. So I'm just happy to take money out of J Money's pockets.
I mean, that's a good bet. But I don't know. I think what Dustin Wolf is doing to this Calgary team with a decidedly poor defense and decidedly really great numbers and really great goals against numbers too. If you just want to care about simple stuff, the Calgary Flames are really good at not allowing goals, which is again crazy considering their shots against and their defense and everything else. I just think that's more impressive than 53 points in 59 games for Celebrini, who is a player I think is really exciting, and I think that makes a decidedly not very good San Jose Sharks team a very fun watch. But I would give it to Dustin Wolf. I would.
How much do you give Dustin Wolf on an 8-year deal?
I don't sign. You don't sign goalies for 8-year deals.
The
Unless
correct
it's
answer.
Hellebuck,
The correct
unless
answer.
it's Vasilevsky. If you're not one of those two, like you're not like a Vezina caliber goalie year in, year out, every single year, you don't give a goalie an 8-year contract. You give a goalie like a 5-year contract.
So
even then, that's kind of like, whoa.
So I'm going to counter this, and so before I give you my number, because I actually do think you give him an 8-year deal, especially considering he's 23. You don't see goalies of this caliber signing that young, so I think that has to play into the conversation. Let's go back to the Calder. You have to look at the tools that Macklin Celebrini's been given on his wings all year.
Yeah.
And he's producing. I think we could throw most players in between or in the middle of Tyler Toffoli and player X, and you'd get 60 points in the NHL.
Will Smith is pretty dope.
Yeah.
Will Smith's a good player.
Great year at San Jose.
But they're loading up that top line. It's the other three that aren't so great.
Yeah.
But as I said, Dustin Wolf doesn't have the tools in front of him. He has a system that's blocking a ton of shots. I'm not talking Dennis Weidman's out there still, but a former Flamin' Oiler, Dennis Weidman. Anyways.
He wrecked that ref.
Yeah.
I forgot about Dennis Weidman. Or was that Chris Weidman?
No, it was Dennis Weidman.
No. Oh, I thought his brother was the one that wrecked the ref.
No, it was Dennis.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Fuck him.
Yeah, it's not like we're still being punished for that.
I miss Chris Russell.
Yeah, we're just having our server here at first round. Just make sure we're good on the libations. So, once again, we do want to give a big shout out to First Round for hosting us here.
Yeah, they've been unreal.
Yeah, it's been
nothing but like just really kind, helpful, and good chill, good vibes.
So if you find yourself in downtown Edmonton, please come on down to First Round. They're not paying us anything to say this, just it's been the hospitality we've had from management on down. And if you are just staying at the West End location, they do have another location in on Bourbon Street. So check out one of their 2 locations if you do make it in here. Hey, Kaya, maybe you can make a stop on your road trip.
True.
Gotta find a way to liberate herself before, or libate, I guess that's probably the word I was looking for, before coming to Calgary, and we're gonna have our Stampede Wrestling match. But anyways,
From the top rope.
can Peter be our ring announcer and you do the actual commentary?
Oh, hell yeah, let's go. God, I miss Peter. What a good premium
Shout out to
being.
PK. I think he just got back from the glorious nation of Japan.
Okay.
Anyway, he doesn't work in this network anymore.
He's still a friend of the network.
Okay, so kind of quick sort of wrapping thoughts about tonight's game. I just kind of want to circle back on a couple things that I thought were kind of interesting. What do we make of some of the? I don't want to go too down the road of like the officiating's terrible, but I was real confused at some very. We touched on it a little bit talking about Corey Perry, and then we kind of veered away.
Yeah.
That whole scrum at the end of the second period, where you had Corey Perry, Michael Backlund,
Rasmus Anderson,
not quite a line brawl, but like people went into it. Corey Perry was being shepherded away by the linesman. Puts his stick in an unpunished face, curls back and tries to punch him in the mouth. What?
I think
Suspensions?
I think DOPS has to at least take a look at the shoving of the Lions
I think they'll
person.
probably give a fine. I highly doubt they'll give a suspension. I just don't think so.
For the attempted stick work to the face, though,
I
Didn't
think
touch
if
him.
it connected,
Didn't touch
that's
him.
a different story.
Exactly.
I think if it connected, that's a different story. But as it stands, I think it's like a
The good old-
maximum allowed by
yeah.
the CBA. Yeah.
It is very Simpsons-esque in the, I'm going to sit here and wave my arms, and if you get hit, it's your fault.
Yeah.
uh,
And I mean, you
but
also
it is the
can't,
wheel of discipline too. We never know what's going to come
That's
out
true.
of this.
That is true.
No, there is no system. There is no rhyme or reason in terms of why this league gives a player a $5,000 fine or a 2 suspension. There's no system that's coherent enough to understand why a player got this, got that, or got that.
Yeah, so the worse audio quality on their explanation video, the worse the punishment will be. The more you can tell it was recorded off an iPhone on the New York subway.
What do you mean?
iPhone 4.
The more you can be sure they're going to get a 10 gamer.
That's a good one.
Now departing.
That's very on
5
brand
game
for George
suspension.
No,
Peros.
if Stefan Quintel in traffic TBC is the worst audio.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't know. They probably just bought the mics off the old Edmonton LRTs now that they can't use them to get to the Bonnie Doon. Or wait, no, it's Millwoods is the end of the LRT.
We have a fancy new train line now. Ooh.
Ooh. Can it go faster than 10 kilometers an hour in most places?
Shut up.
Only 30 years too late.
Oh, at least you got your line. Well, actually, the Fed's committed to our line in Calgary. The green line, the airport line, that's not going to the airport anymore.
Oh boy!
Now we're talking civic politics.
Will the Flames use that to get to the new arena? Find out next on. Okay, Conrad, are the Flames going to be good at all, and can they still make the playoffs? They are currently 7 points out. I think
We have 10. We have 10 games remaining. We have the most games remaining out of any team in the West.
7 points back. Can the Flames do it?
It's an uphill battle. We do, however, have games against the 2 bottom feeders in the conference. So I think there's a possibility. But if I had to look into a crystal ball right now, I'm saying the Flames miss it by exactly 1 point. This loss will keep the Flames out of the playoffs.
I'm sad, but you're probably not wrong.
Yeah. There's a point a few weeks ago where it was, I think all the wild card spots were occupied Canadian teams. It was like Vancouver, Ottawa, Montreal, and Calgary all in the playoff spot. Pretty sure all 7 teams were in a spot, and that made me very happy. And obviously as an Oilers fan, I have rivalries with the Canucks and the Flames. But it, I would rather it's a more entertaining playoffs with them in it than like the Minnesota Wild, who will likely go out in the first round again to a Winnipeg team, in my estimation.
Depends on when Hellebuyck shows up. We've seen bad playoff Hellebuyck.
That's true, but I don't think the Wild are a Colorado Avalanche team when it comes to their ability to expose a goalie. And isn't Kaprizov still out / not 100%?
Yeah.
You're right, Ash. Wild are what the children would say are mid.
Avery, why does that sound so wrong coming from you? Like any other human being on Earth, I think that sounds
good.
pretty.
That was really good. Yeah, but they're 5-4-1 in their last 10. The Wild, they're now tied with the Blues, who are 9-1-0. I mean, I think the Blues are going to run away with that first wild card position.
Do you look at the Blues to make yourself as an Oilers fan sad?
Yeah, I do every day. Looking at the Blues is active self-harm every day of my life.
Yeah, that's not healthy for you.
Yeah,
Stop.
I know, but what else could I do? Watch this Oilers team?
See, I watched the MRU Cougars as my escape, and then I went to the longest playoff game in U Sports history and lost.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
That is tough. As a proud voice of the McEwen Griffins, the men's team made the postseason. We made progress at McEwen, so I'll take that one. You watching Heartbreak, Conrad?
You have my favorite women's soccer player of all time playing at McEwen.
That's right.
Shout out to the Atakube family.
Oh, man. All right. We're not making the playoffs. Oilers, we're going to win the cup. We're going in the first round. We'll find out.
Do we want me to go through chat and see if we got any questions from the fans at home?
Yeah, if we got a couple. I haven't seen any update in a little bit.
Corey Perry does have 13 games of suspension history. Does that play into the max fine / 1 game suspension?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think like I think if there was a more severe call on the ice, maybe, possibly, but I really
You got 4 for roughing, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm also trying to hold this so Anand can get in so we can ask him some questions. Just so we know. Actually, here's a good comment from the Denim Man. Is Murray Edwards the 2020s version of Harold Ballard? Where nothing matters but the 2 games of playoffs. I don't think he's quite selling the nameplates off jerseys levels of evil, but
Yeah. Can anyone be Harold Ballard?
No.
Like, you have to be a specific level of not just like a bastard rich man, but also like evil and kind of a monster.
okay, so let's put another name out there. Is Murray Edwards the modern Peter Pocklington?
That's a crazy call.
That,
I don't hate it. I don't think you're that wrong.
Well, we do have to keep in mind that Murray Edwards does not own 100% of the Calgary Flames. He owns 51%. Actually, I think it's maybe 55% now. But he's the man in charge.
Who owns the other 50 blob?
So I know the Seaman family still owns a fair bit.
Okay.
The Libin family still owns a little. Other prominent Calgary businessmen. And some trusts. Of the former.
Nothing does a hockey podcast or show good like a bunch of talking about finances and rich people.
I mean,
Matt,
salary cap earlier, so I mean, numbers, mathematics.
Matt DeMille yelling at us. Anthony Mantha. Hey Matt, how was watching Gavin McKenna from your desk looking? That's my question.
Oh, that's probably pretty sick.
Yeah. Imagine getting paid to watch Gavin McKenna.
Bad.
Anyways,
Avery, you get paid to watch Connor McDavid.
That is true.
No.
see, but he's old. Gavin McKenna's 17.
Yeah. Noted old man Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
Noted old.
Noted old head.
I'm always thinking about that one tweet that's like he's like the oldest guy in the league. You can hear his bones creaking. He's like 32 years old.
We say as we have 2 32-year-old men in this room at the very least.
Yeah. We're both older than Victor Arvidsson.
I'm a big fan of Valorant esports, and I think the oldest player in the American leagues is FNS, and he's like 30 years old, and people do nothing but just make fun of how old he is all the time.
Good.
And he is 30 years old.
That rocks.
Oh, I asked about Gavin McKenna. He had 5 points tonight.
Yeah.
Sick.
That kid's ridiculous.
Good.
But you mentioned age. Like I refuse to call someone who's 30 old, considering I used to run National Lacrosse League, and I used to watch the OG John Tavares at 46 years old play for the Bandits at 46.
Yeah, old
And
John Tavares.
how old is Curtis Dixon these days now?
37?
About that, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
37, 38.
He's still flying through the air from the behind the goal to score. Like, welcome back to Calgary, by the way, Superman.
Yeah, this whole podcast took a hard turn and back to Calgary.
I have to go back there tomorrow.
A lot of Edmonton Oiler, Calgary Roughneck crossover here.
Well, you guys don't have a lacrosse team or a soccer team anymore, so. Oh, by the way, I brought this. I'm not going to give it to Avery, but I'm going to let him wear it. We got the Cavalry FC Championship scarf, just to remind him what having a soccer team in his city feels like.
You know what, Conrad? You know what? We have at least you don't have a CEBL Championship franchise. Edmonton Stingers all day.
Yeah, it'll be our year next year. Hey, we went to the finals, didn't we?
You did,
Yeah.
and you lost.
Well, so did you guys in the NHL last year.
Yeah.
See, I told you I wouldn't throw any more daggers at Kaya. I had to adjust my sights here. But yeah,
Friends, I love you all very much. I do have to be rude, and Nope Away, as my partner, is currently waiting at her mom's house, and her mom wants to go to bed.
you
You can keep on the show. I just got to go pick up Kristen and run back because she's getting locked out of her house very shortly.
I will make sure your mic gets home safe.
Thanks, handsome friends. I guess I'll see you in a little bit. You're staying at my house anyway. So, thanks for doing the show. Listen to Hyperdrive Hockey. Ad read. I'm sorry, I'm going to go pay our bill, and then I have to go.
Yeah, I'll do that ad read for Hyperdive Hockey as hopefully our friend Anand joins us. Apparently it's a bit of a gong show getting out of Rogers Place today. And before we do the ad read, I do have to take a moment and send all of our thoughts from all of us here at Game Over to the individual who unfortunately had to be EMS'd out of the building at around the 2-minute mark of this one. Obviously, there was a bit of a delay. Obviously, thoughts go out to the individual who had to be assisted. Kind of delayed things and kind of changed the vibes of the building there for a bit. But let's do an ad read after that hard left turn. So, are you guys ready to shift into hyperdrive and get ready to have some fun with your new source of the biggest stories in hockey? Your unique style of broadcasting and commentary with a Quebecois flavor. Hyperdrive Hockey combines top-tier hockey analysis, big stories, pop culture, and a damn fun atmosphere that will drive, debate, make you think, and more. Join Max Van Oot, Daphne Malbeuf, and Kevin Larmé when they get to posting, because I hear they might be getting back for playoffs. That's what I've been hearing. So watch out for that one on YouTube at the Game Over Network channel. Subscribe on podcast apps on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you find your podcasts, or head on over to our website, thegameovernetwork.com, for more. Avery, I'm going to ask you one question because I think the Oilers are in the top half of the league in this, and it's something me and Matt DeMille hammer on every single time we're on air. Flames only won 43% of the face-offs tonight. How important do you think it is? Obviously, you guys have the big two going down the middle. Do you think that's a huge advantage for the Oilers?
I definitely do think it is, especially late in games, late draws. It'd be a big thing for going up against, most likely, fourth in a row. The LA Kings, Conrad.
Yeah, and we talked about old heads, Corey Perry and Anze Kopitar. I wonder how many times they've played against each other in the history of this league.
Wow, I should track that, but it's been quite a few times. Go back to Perry's days with Anaheim.
Yeah, the Anaheim LA days.
How many times did they face off in the playoffs, the Ducks Kings?
Well, because you have to remember, because Corey Perry, that Ducks team was a wagon when he was a younger, former Calgary Hitman. Or that was Getzlaff that was a former Hitman. But, so you have to think that's probably more than 50 times. Because that was also the era where you had more of the in-division play, where you only saw some Western or Eastern teams once a year.
Yeah, that is true.
Yes, that was the era back when, we did for 5 years. We played, 10 Eastern teams?
You had your 10 Eastern teams, and then it went to where you'd have every Eastern team, but it'd be either one home and one away.
Yes.
So it's weird. So you have to. That might be a good one for a Hockey News article there if they do face off in the playoffs. We're giving you story ideas there, Avery.
I think so.
I mean, with the Oilers and the Kings facing off for the 4th time in a row, I'm sure there are plenty of matchups that have happened, especially just if you just count playoffs. So there are plenty of individual head-to-heads that have happened more times than you might think, just given the 4 times in a row. Oh my God. Oh.
You know what's actually funny is that with that, I've gotten to know a bunch of the Kings media since they've been here 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And Kings media actually started to learn Edmonton landmarks by heart now. There's so much.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So they know where the metal balls are on the other side of the river? What else is there in this city?
I love the metal balls. I'm actually super proud of them. I'm so happy.
They're better than our big blue ring. Let's be real.
I think there should be more metal balls all around the city.
Where would the next? Can we just pile them on top of St. Joseph's College at U of A or something?
Put them everywhere, just literally everywhere, every crosswalk. There's at the U of A, there's this big statue of a guy with a big frame, an empty frame, and I want something like that at every intersection. I think that.
Have you been to downtown Calgary where we have this just giant wireframe head in front of one of our?
Yeah. It's very.
Yeah, it's a little awkward.
It's very weird.
I love it. I love weird.
Only on
art.
Game Over crossovers will you find talks about public art in your sports stream. I'm just trying to think of some more topics while we wait for Anand, because I want to let him have his thoughts on the game, because it was his first game not in the Saddle Dome that he got to watch for an NHL game. So let's talk about that. So the Flames obviously building their new arena. They've got a giant 36-foot hole. I think I got told that by the Flames COO the other day, that it was 36 feet exactly. What pitfalls do the Flames need to avoid in this new building? Because Avery, you've been there since it opened. What's something the Flames need to avoid doing in that new building?
This is gonna sound funny, but it's practical. Make sure you have in this new building enough women's washrooms.
Oh, they actually made a point about this. They have 30% of the washrooms are going to be flex washrooms.
Okay.
So for events that have more male audience, those will be male bathrooms. If they specifically said a concert like Taylor Swift was the wording, if I remember correctly. There will be more female washrooms. So they've taken that learning opportunity.
Haven't some of the PWHL takeovers also done something similar like that?
Or hey, can we just bring back the Inferno? Like, they were a great team back in the day. Let's just bring them back.
Build a proper roof. Yeah?
A roof that can handle lights and sound equipment?
No, just a proper roof.
Hey, it is a proper roof. Just because it's shaped like a Pringle doesn't make it any less efficient as a roof.
I like Pringles.
Pringles are great?
I do think of Pringles when I look at the saddle, though. I do think of Pringles before saddles.
Well, it's because we're that western city, and it's all in the Stampede grounds. It's got to relate somehow. Okay, so Oilers win the season series against Calgary. Who has been the standout when you think Flames Edmonton this year for you guys?
I mean, I just think of Leon Draisaitl. I mean, you kind of mentioned it earlier before Avery got here, but you were like, I don't know if like Connor cares like all that much about the Flames rivalry, but I do know Leon Draisaitl fucking hates this team. And that's true. That's absolutely true. I think Leon Draisaitl, I mean, like that guy plays with so much passion, and I think that guy is going to show up in all these like, these like heated games, even if they aren't necessarily like a do or die playoff game. He's going to show up with a lot of heart in these playoff games, or not these playoff games, but these like meaningful regular season games. There's like a lot of narrative and stuff.
The playoff atmosphere games.
Yes, especially. I also want to mention Corey Perry. We were talking about this earlier, but there was his comments after Skinner got injured in the Seattle game, right?
The Seattle or Dallas?
Yeah, Dallas.
The Dallas game, yes. Yeah. And he was talking about how he was disappointed in himself and in the team for, not standing up for Skinner. He was on the ice. And there was a lot of fan reaction about that. And I think that's kind of what contributed to Perry kind of like going ham at the end of the second period there. And I think that is definitely like a kind of a complaint. I see people calling this Oilers team soft. I don't think they're soft. I think they, especially when you have like Frederick and Kane come back, I don't think they're soft. I just think that they aren't so interested in kind of like those scrums and stuff. And I mean, I definitely want to see more from that because I think that's like passion that leads to better play.
I wanted to see Corey Perry and Adam Klapka go at it.
That would have been so sick. That would have been an absolute tilt.
Well, Corey Perry would have probably been the feistier, but Adam Klapka, we have to remember, he's 6'8", and you can't teach that.
No, you cannot teach height.
Yeah, so for the Flames, I'm going to give the also kind of cliche answer and say it's Dustin Wolf.
Yeah.
I think you did see Vladar once this year, if my brain's remembering correctly. But Dustin Wolf's been the story this year and kept this game a lot closer than it probably should have been. Denied Leon on the breakaway, but it's this Flames team, man. Like, it's been such a rough season being a Flames fan because when we score 4 goals, we win 93% of the time, if my brain's remembering how to math correct. But we don't score 4 goals very often. So it's a lot of pressure has been on the 2 goaltenders, whether that's the man wearing number 32 and Dustin Wolf, or whether that's number 80, Dan Vladar. So I think it's really been a show of Wolf and his character in this Edmonton swing. I'm just looking at how long we've been going, and unfortunately for Anand, I think we're going to have to wrap this one before he gets here. But big shout out once again to First Round for hosting us. Hopefully next year we can do another one of these, and who knows, you may see more of this location in playoffs if things work out.
Maybe.
Gonna put that one out in the air. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we will see you. Actually, when's next Game Over Edmonton game? They're heading off on a road swing here, if I remember correctly.
Yes, they are. They're on the Nevada, California road trip.
Which is hugely important for both of these teams. If you guys can take out some points from the Surging Kings. And, like, I don't think the Flames can catch the Kings in reality, but hey, who knows? So what is your next game? If
We
you
got the Golden Knights in the first, with the Sharks in the third, and the Kings in the fifth.
All right, and then for us, it is going to be on Monday. Myself and Anand Unathan will bring you the Flames as they take on the Colorado Avalanche and some guy named Cale Makar. He's okay at hockey. He's from Calgary. Thank you so much for tuning in. As we said once again from first round here in Edmonton, Alberta, we will see you when we see you. Have a great evening, everyone. See if the transition works.